Welcome back. You are still watching Morning Live here on the SABC News channel. We now cross over to Iviwe, who is with us and joining us from PE this morning. Very good morning to you, Iviwe.
Good morning, and definitely today's program will be a jam-packed program expected to start around about 9 o'clock. From 9 until 10, we're expecting to see some cultural activities on the stage. Also, I think just to bring in those community members that will be here for the launch of 16 Days of Activism. The main address coming from President Jacob Zuma, and the program today will be run by the Minister representing women in the presidency, Susan Shabangu, together with the MEC here in the Eastern Cape, Nancy Sihlwai, who will be also running that program. As we've alluded to the fact that this year, 16 Days of Activism falls in a year where we've seen a scourge of violence that has been affecting women and children. We've seen a number of femicide cases. We've seen the number of rape come up as well, and the number of violence in our communities coming up as well. This month, the Minister, Susan Shabangu, has already launched those dialogues that have been happening within South Africa, but mainly here in the Eastern Cape, where they've been holding these dialogues in 6 municipalities and as well as 2 metros. And I think most important, people, have been given the opportunity to also revert back to the government in terms of how they want them to deal with the issues that they face. Obviously, job losses and not being able to obtain any jobs and violence in their communities affecting that. Also, a high scourge and alert in South Africa this year, cannibalism. But I think we're going to link now to an insert that's going to tell us a bit more in terms of what community members had to say, what were their concerns, and how they actually interacted with the Minister and MEC. But for now, let's go to that insert.
A third of the people in the Eastern Cape live in poverty. A similar picture plays out in Port Alfred. Residents in the poor areas believe it is because of the terrible socioeconomic conditions that people turn to drugs and alcohol.
Government, they must release or decrease in alcohol because alcohol is too much. Even some of us were unemployed, but we are drinking too much. It is whereby we are the victims of the rape.
As men, we are supposed to strengthen campaigns that encourage that those men who are involved in such activities of abuse against women are hindered from that, and we conscientize the community as to what are they supposed to do when they experience such experiences at their household.
But the violence is often close to home. According to the SA Medical Research Council, a woman is killed by an intimate partner every 8 hours. Statistics also indicate that every 13 minutes, a person is raped.
Bigger thing that we need to address is how we bring up our girls, our children and our boys, that it is not sufficient for us to just send people to court or send them to police. What happens in our homes and how we adjudicate on these cases.
It's the people's day today to tell us how do they feel. Perhaps they will also make some proposals on why is it like this, and also how government should intervene in their issues, because communities don't ever undermine them. They do have solutions of their problems.
There is also a new horrific phenomenon emerging in the Eastern Cape: cannibalism. In September this year, the community of KwaBatsa were outraged when a 23-year-old man was arrested for kidnapping a woman, slitting her throat, and then feasting on her flesh.
It's scary. It's a new phenomenon, not only in the Eastern Cape, as you know, in KZN too. So it's something which is new in our culture. It might have been there, but not told. So these are the issues which are coming up. And I'm told here in the Eastern Cape, it's targeting women mainly. And that's what brings us here, to say what is it that we need to do. But I must also say, part of the dialogues, we will also be meeting with Imbumba, Amakosikazi, traditional leaders around this area, to find a solution and a mechanisms to say what role can they play together in ensuring that we address this issue.
The National Dialogue Series will take place in 6 district municipalities and 2 metropolitan municipalities in the Eastern Cape throughout the 16 Days of Activism. Lerato Tipa, SABC News, Port Alfred.